Hi, my name is Jeff Halverson. I'm currently a university instructor and doing some research projects with a couple nonprofits here in Canada. And I am also a postdoctoral associate studying immigration and resettlement. So I have worked for 15 years in community-based settings with individuals experiencing family violence and abuse, homelessness, as well as sex work. And I'm really kind of interested in social justice and ally roles, whiteness and masculinities, as well as anti-racism. So how I got into this work, I grew up as an evangelical Christian, and my parents, one of the kind of core values that I took from that was everybody was created equal. And I really took that to heart, as well as from religion and just the concern for what was kind of called the poor. And so those were really kind of founding values for myself. I also grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. And I was kind of relatively poor in my neighborhood, and so my friends had more things than I did growing up, and that really kind of left its mark on me. And I wanted to grow up and make money, but then that didn't align very well with some of my other values. So I was one day I was kind of thinking, how can I be this rich Christian? And what does that even mean? And so I came across this book, Rich Christians in an Age of Hunger, and it really changed my life because it really outlined, how colonial power came to create this really unequal world, and if you wanted to call yourself a Christian, you needed to dedicate your life to undermining this colonial oppression, essentially, is what I took away from it. So that led me to do my work in international development, studied there, and had this question about what can I do in my own backyard. And that's where I started a career in homelessness, as well as learning kind of that instrumental feminist values in university about just gender inequality and doing kind of a gender-based analysis of different situations to really come up with how do we support healthy communities. So that influenced me, and I took a different turn in my career, where I started working at a domestic violence shelter to kind of contribute to issues that concern women. And so or specifically domestic violence. So that's where at this point, I was kind of saw myself as this kind of good person doing this work. And then we had some programs that were supporting men who had used violence. And that's where I started learning more about masculinity and how men's culture really kind of constructs and creates the environment that domestic violence is possible in. And at that point, I remember sitting in my office and the light was shining and I was reading this book, and it just hit me how this implicated me. It implicated me in the way that how I interact with my friends. I could see this chain from hearing a joke and not saying anything, a joke about kind of a sexist joke, and then having that joke repeated to another man that then uses that to kind of rationalize violent behavior. And so understanding that this is part of the forces that have shaped my life, I really kind of launched into understanding how some white men perfectly come to seek to kind of resist those forces. And so I think, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm teaching social work and doing doing some projects that I'm really quite passionate about, being able to contribute to a more equal world and resist inequalities. and the forces that set them up and have created the privilege that I've experienced in my life. And so my hope is that other men will be able to, will join, and that I can learn from the way that we are as men contributes to how the world is either a better or a worse place. And so I seek to make it better in my circles. So thank you very much. And I look forward to socializing and meeting everybody. All right. Have a good day.